Schizophrenic USC, stabilizing the Trojans in 2025. Our look at USC football for 2025 right here at the Voice of College Football. Please like the video and subscribe. It started off oh so well for Lincoln Riley at SC. Coming off 4-8, Lincoln Riley, 11 wins, a Pac-12 championship game appearance, a 2-touchdown lead in said Pac-12 championship game against Utah in round 2 of college football playoff. But everything since then pretty much downhill. Blew the 2-touchdown lead when Caleb Williams got hurt. Were embarrassed by Tulane in the Cotton Bowl. Finished with those 2 consecutive losses in 2022. 7-6, 8-5 records the last 2 seasons, 6 losses this past year. And they did win bowl games. But other than that, my goodness, poor first season in the Big Ten and losing to the likes of 1-8 Maryland. Of course, they had Miller Moss at quarterback, who had a decent season, but he was still thrown on the bench about 2/3 of the way through the season in favor of Jaden Mayava, 11 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, who will be the starting quarterback this fall for Lincoln Riley, who's got a track record unmatched in the sport at the quarterback position, of course. Most of that coming at Oklahoma. D'Anton Lynn did a fine job in stabilizing the USC defense and making it formidable in 2024. But they're going to have to be a stronger unit up front on both sides of the ball and stronger mentally, and that starts with the head coach, of course. Let's check out the pluses for the Trojans here. 15 through the transfer portal, including Utah wide receiver Zach Williams, who caught 10 passes last year. Boise wide receiver Prince Strachan, who caught 25. NC State safety Bishop Fitzgerald could really help the defense. 55 tackles, 7 for loss, and 3 picks. A top 5 interior offensive lineman, according to the 247 portal rankings, in Jeanre Reed out of NC State. A top 10 offensive lineman inside from Purdue in DJ Wingfield. Number 1 defensive lineman Keyshawn Silver out of Kentucky, 26 tackles in the SEC. When we look at the 2025 recruiting class, nothing special in terms of the numbers, but of course, there is a special quarterback possibly in USC's future in Houston Longstreet. That is the future. 16 early enrollees out of 24 total signed in 2025, the 14th ranked class in college football. On the minus side from the NFL draft, 3 Trojans go to the pros and cornerback Jalen Smith, running back Woody Marks, who was just tremendous. Should have seen the ball more in the fourth quarter, and maybe USC would have won more than 7 games. And offensive lineman Jonah Monheim. Now let's look at the losses in the portal for USC, and they are significant in regards to quality in skill position players. It starts with this guy, Zachariah Branch, going to Georgia. Man, one of the quickest, fastest players in all of college football. His brother went along with him, a productive defensive back in Zion Branch. Bear Alexander only played 3 games, but we know what he could have been. Emmanuel Pregnon also goes to Oregon on the offensive side, and he was one of USC's best offensive linemen. The one that I think's possibly, with some people, going under the radar that really hurts is Deuce Robinson. Is a nightmare of a matchup problem for defenses. He goes to Florida State, takes 23 catches, 5 touchdowns. He could do so much more than that. Kyron Hudson pulled in some of the most amazing catches in college football. He will go to Happy Valley. Miller Moss, we talked about, now a Louisville quarterback, and Quentin Joyner, who was all lined up to be USC's top running back this fall, 478 yards, 7.6 per carry. No, he's going to do his work for Texas Tech. This, to me, is the most intriguing team in the Big Ten. They were last season as well going into the season, and it basically proved out. You may say, 7-6, they were average. No, they did have one of the tougher non-conference schedules in the country with LSU and Notre Dame, and of course Texas A&M in a bowl game. And look how they performed. They beat LSU. They beat Texas A&M. Not great teams, but still top 15 to 20 teams in America. And they had Notre Dame in a red zone situation, down a touchdown in the fourth quarter late, before Jaden Mayava threw a couple pick sixes, and they fell to Notre Dame by 14. When this team was good, they were good. They took Penn State to overtime. They took over the second half against Wisconsin and rolled the Badgers. Not a good Wisconsin team, yes, but good enough to play with Penn State for 4 quarters and Oregon down to the wire. So Wisconsin could be difficult. And again, USC completely rolled them, a 28-3 count in the second half. But when they were down, yes, highest ceiling, lowest floor combination in the Big Ten this past season. Lost to Maryland. Maryland otherwise went 0-8 in the Big Ten. Of course, they blew leads in the fourth quarter to just about everyone. All their losses in the Big Ten, fourth quarter leads. So many blown situations inside the 10 at Seattle against Washington. And of course, if they would run the ball, hung onto the ball against Minnesota, they win that game. So strength in the trenches. Let's start there in terms of keys. Offensive line, defensive line, standing up at the point of attack. The Michigan game. They got bullied in the first quarter, got down by a couple touchdowns, outplayed Michigan the entire game, had the game on lockdown with Michigan with no passing attack, buried at their own 20-25 yard line, but couldn't get the tackles in the secondary to get it done. So bulk up, get stronger. USC says it was going into 2024. There were indications of that. Did they continue that progress in strength and conditioning? And will that stand up along the offensive and defensive lines and also in terms of depth? Key number 2, Jaden Mayava, 11 touchdowns, 6 picks, mobile quarterback. 59% completion percentage in this day and age is not good enough. Will he take to Lincoln Riley's tutelage and be a better quarterback this time around, or will he be thrown on the bench? And thirdly, I'm looking at the running back by committee situation. I don't necessarily like it. These guys could prove to be really good backs, and they could have something really good going, but they're just unproven across the board. JUCOs and Wayman Jackson, and also the New Mexico transfer Eli Sanders, 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns at that level, and Brian Jackson, who showed flashes for SC in 2024. Let's check out the schedule, and of course, another adjustment for USC. Only Notre Dame non-conference. They don't have that second difficult non-conference game. They really ease in the first 4 games of the season with the 2 softies, and then Purdue and Michigan State in conference play. The middle's going to be difficult, and people laughed at me last year when I said, look at the middle of this USC schedule. They're better than all these teams. They're more talented than all these teams, but the accumulation of Wisconsin, Nebraska, Minnesota, Maryland, who was coming off an 8-5 season. I said the accumulation of those kind of physical teams, Rutgers, will catch up with USC, and it did. Wasn't necessarily that USC was second class to any of those teams, but the accumulation of a Big Ten schedule wore on USC. The middle this season includes a trip to Illinois, Michigan, Notre Dame, Nebraska. Pretty tough schedule, but they miss Ohio State. They miss a lot of the big heavyweights in the Big Ten. This USC edition's got to go 8-4. Lincoln Riley's got to clean it up, and this team needs to perform up to not necessarily its standard all time, but in regards to taking a step toward being competitive with the big boys in the Big Ten. That's my look at USC football. Comments and questions down below. Keep in mind, we got a USC channel. We go live Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays right here at the Voice of College Football. Check it out.